and welcome to Adobe Flash ActionScript 3.0 Lesson 7, Classroom in the Book. Today we'll be using arrays and loops in ActionScript 3.0, and in an overview, we are going to basically use arrays to store, manipulate reference lists of data. We got associate movie clip symbols with an ActionScript class. We got use methods of the array class to store and remove references to movie clip instances and their properties. Create for loops to control the repetition of ActionScript. Add movie clip instances to the stage, and use ActionScript to drag and drop movie clips. Use the hit test object method to detect when two movie clips are overlapping. Use a for loop to cycle through an array and check the properties of its elements. And finally, we've got to create a simple game with a scoring and outcome feedback given in text fields. Okay, without further ado, let's go into our file here. So let's just go and open. Okay, and we've got to open our file. And we've got to open up the completed file first. Okay, so let's go to lessons. So today is lesson 7, so we've got to come over here. And we've got to just show you, I'm just going to show you what's the completed one that looks like. And we're opening up the file. Okay, so here we are. And it's taking some time to load. Let me just close certain things. Close this. That's about it. Close iTunes. And okay, so there we have it. Okay, so let's just I'm going to show you the stage. So there we have it. We've got some text fields here, the background over here. So notice the background is a basket, some text, and the action layer. So it's going to test it out by testing the movie. So let's test it out here. So notice I can actually catch all the okay. So I lost because I lost too much fruit. So that's a game where we can actually do some things like catching fruit. Okay, so if you catch 20 pieces of fruit before letting 20 pieces get past the basket, we will win the game. If you let 20 pieces fall, and then without us catching 20, then we will actually lose the game. So there we have it. So that's how you win. Okay, so how do we do this game? So let's just begin by closing this file. Don't save it. And let's open our start file. Let me go open this one here. Okay, so we have our layout that's done already for us. The background, the basket. So the basket is there, the text boxes are there, and the actions. So as always, we got to do a save as. And we got to save it as a working copy. Okay, and we got to save. Okay, so there we have it. Okay, so let's say we come here and look at this. Now notice there's a basket here. Notice what is the property. It's called basket underscore MC. Okay, and okay, let's also look at the text layer here. So we got two text boxes. One is called field 2 text underscore and one is field 1 underscore text. Okay, then the actions layer is empty. So we've got to place all our code into this frame 1 of the actions layer. Okay, so first of all, let's come over to our basket here. And what you got to do is double click it. Okay, so notice actually there is actually an animation for our basket here. If you want to look at it separately, we can go to the library in editing mode here. Object editing mode, and we've got to look at the basket here. So here you can go and you can see that as there are certain parts where it actually goes, and as it goes along in the animation, it becomes bigger and big. The basket becomes fuller and fuller with more fruit. Okay, so every 5 frames there's more fruit in the basket. Okay, and furthermore in layer 3 there's actually an actions layer. So let's just have a look at the actions. Notice there's a stop action here. So the animation doesn't begin at all because it says stop. So it means at the beginning of the game there will be no fruit. So as our user collects more fruit in the basket, the action script that you create will send it to the later frames of the basket. Okay. So there are 20 frames here. So for every one fruit that we pick, we move the basket forward one frame. Okay. So let's go back to scene 1. Okay. So we can add graphics to and from the stage, okay, and we want to place instances of a movie clip from the library onto the stage using ActionScript. If you first need to set the linkage properties of that clip in the library. So Flash allows us to combine design and programming tools. So we can have all our pictures here that we create, and we can actually link it to our action script. Okay, so okay, so what happens is when an object is added to the Flash stage from the library, it's automatically identified for inclusion in the compiled Swift library. However, when a movie clip in the library is not placed on stage in the Flash interface, but is instead added to the stage at runtime with ActionScript, it needs to be explicitly set to be included in the Swift file. So this is accomplished in the clip's linkage settings, which can be found in the symbol properties dialog box for each movie clip in the library. So what happens is if ActionScript tells you I'm going to use this symbol, but it's not going to be there in the beginning, you need to explicitly say, I'm going to use this symbol. Because if you don't tell the compiler that you're going to use this symbol, it'll try to optimize the Flash file by not including that symbol. Okay, so let's look at the library here. So let's select the Apple movie clip over here. Okay, and what we're going to do is that we're going to come over here to properties here. Okay, and we're going to click over here. So notice over here it says symbol properties. Okay, and it says, let's go and click on advanced here. So notice over here there's advanced. It's a movie clip, and we're going to select the export for ActionScript here. That means we're going to use it for ActionScript. So we're going to compile it for ActionScript here. So we're going to leave the class Apple, and all the settings is base class, is a movie clip and everything here. And we're going to just say OK. Okay, the definition cannot, so no, so one will be generated. Okay, so we just got to say, we got to click OK. So it will automatically create Apple class for us. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing for this banana as well. So let's come here and click on properties. Same thing, export for ActionScript, click OK. And we got to do it for orange. Properties, export, click OK, click OK. Pear and strawberry. So I can right click as well, so okay, and there we have it. So now if you look in the Finder, now are there files there created? Now we look over here, lesson 7. Okay, it's not created yet, so go hold on for a while. So you can see that it links to a file, a class, and it defaults to the same name as the movie clip itself. Okay, you can change the class name, but the default is fine. Okay, so now that we have it, we're gonna create the right ActionScript to add instances of them to the stage. Okay, but so just to see how easy it is, we'll practice by adding a single Apple class instance to the stage. So we're going to just open up our Actions panel here. So just go to Window, Other Panels, so hold on, Actions. And we got this Action panel here. I'm just going to put it over here so that I can have easy access to it. Okay, and we got to add this one to the top of the frame 1 of the actions layer. So I'm going to select this layer here, come over here, and I'm going to come here, actions, frame 1. I'm going to just type this. So we're going to create a variable called testApple, which is of type apple. And we're going to say create a new apple instance using the new operator and add child. So you remember from our previous lessons, add child puts it on the stage. Okay, so that's it. So let's try it out. So let's try control, test movie, test. Notice the apple over here. So the apple has been created at the upper left corner. However, we're not supposed to just create one apple, we create lots of apples, so we got to use a loop. So let's come back over here. Okay, so we got to come back here and just delete everything over here. Okay, so we got to create this thing called an array, which is basically something like a box for lots of apples, or lots of stuff. So it's an array equals to new array, apple, strawberry, pear, banana, orange. Okay, so we have an array of 5 items. Okay, so now the next line would be var fruits on stage array equals to new array, and there we have it. A new array is created. Okay, so we've just created an array with 5 elements: apple, strawberry, pear, banana, and orange. And how do you reference that is that we use a square bracket. For example, if we want array, the first one, we want to find what's the first one. We say array square bracket 0. Okay, or for the strawberry, be array square bracket 1. Okay, so indexes in array start from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's 0 to 5. 0 to 4 means there are 5 items over there. Okay, so we got to add 2 new variables on lines here. Fruits collected, int equals to 0. This counter to count how many fruits we collected, and gotta create another one here. Fruits int 0. How many fruits I've lost? Okay, so this is a variable to keep track. Okay, so let me just save this, auto save. Okay, so the next thing is that we got to use a for loop to create instances of this. So for var I int equals to 0. So this says the first part, well, let's declare a variable. We call it I, which is of type integer, and its default value is 0. As long as I smaller than 20, I plus plus, which means I increase I by 1. So let's just type this one and trace I. Okay, so let's try this out now. So notice now in our code here, output is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9 until 90 shows that there is code. The code is being executed. So instead of displaying numbers, what we've got to do is that we've got to create instances of fruit. So because instead of typing trace, we can say var pick fruit array int math random fruit array dot length. Length. Yep, over here and here. So notice how I make sure that the brackets are balanced. So for this one, these two are balanced. This one, the partner must be partnered with this one, and this one must be partnered with this one. So what it says, you've got to take a random number. Okay. Sorry, this is not an equal sign. It's a multiply sign. So let's take a random number, multiply by length. So it's 0 to 5, maximum would be 5, but it's 0 0.4, 0.99, whatever. And it takes it and converts it into an integer. So it says pick a fruit inside the array. And var fruit movie clip equals to new pick fruit. Now this is a function that we are going to create, and we're going to add a child to the stage, so you display it for you. Okay, so if I tested it now, notice there are lots of fruits here, but they are just all standing there because that's the default value of where it will appear. So 20 fruits are created, but it's all at the top left corner. So let's just change the location where it is created. So we're going to say fruit.x equals to math.random. So we learned in the previous lesson that we got to put it on various parts of the stage. So, and fruit.y equals to math.random times negative 500. So with this part here, we got to choose a random position for our fruit. And here we got to choose a random position for the y position for our fruit. So notice there are lots of fruits here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all over the place. Okay, so so what this does is that it minuses 500 from the stage. Instead of putting it all at the top left corner, we're just gonna put a random y value, so it's above the stage here. So instead of being all of it being over here, okay, I'm gonna just show you a little bit here. So I'm just gonna comment this out so that you get to see everything. So notice all the fruits over here. But when we say minus 500, that means we are putting it on various positions above the stage, so you don't get to see it. So again, this one says, okay, we got to put it above the stage. Okay, so over here we got to say, I've got to change the speed. And we got to say the speed is at least 5. So there's a speed on which it goes down. So this is not a built-in property of the fruit. So it was created for this project. So new properties can be added to our movie clips just for our purpose. So because the reason for this is that the movie clip class is a dynamic class. So if you refer to a property that doesn't exist, it will be created for you automatically. So if with a non-dynamic class you refer to a property that doesn't exist, you get an error message. So the two most dynamically used dynamic classes are the movie clip class and the object class. And you should assume that most other built-in classes are not dynamic. So we just got to continue our lesson, and we got to just continue using it. And then if you're not sure, you can always reread this chapter again when you have more experience. Now, so we created all our fruits. So our fruits are there at at the top of our stage here. So we got to keep it inside an array to keep track of all the fruits in our stage here. Okay, so over here, we got to come over here and we got to just add one more line here. Fruits on stage, which is an array, dot push fruit. So notice we create an array, so push means we got to push this fruit into the array. Okay, so there we have it. So add child, it creates a random fruit position in different speed, and we got push it onto the array. Now we got to turn movie clips into draggable objects using the start drag and stop drag methods for our basket. So we're going to call the start drag method of the movie clip and the stop drag to make it. Start drag will allow it to be draggable, and stop drag will make it non-draggable. So when you want it to be draggable, when the user presses the mouse button on it, and like dragging stop when the user lifts up the mouse button. So normally we'll listen to the mouse up and mouse down events. Okay, so we're going to do this now. Okay. Basket underscore MC add event listener mouse event dot mouse down drag basket stage add event listener mouse event dot mouse up drag stop function drag basket event basket dot start drag function drag stop event void basket MC dot stop drag. Okay, so what it means is that when you click down on the basket, you drag it, but if any part of the stage in which you lift it up, it will stop dragging the basket here. Now the reason for this is that sometimes when we drag our basket, the mouse might not be exactly over the basket. So if it's not over, then this event will not be called, and it will not stop dragging, allow us to stop dragging the mouse. So remember this trick here for stage. We want to add event listener. Okay, sorry, I forgot to put a dot here and an A here. Okay, so remember small s and small a. Okay, so stage dot add event listener. Okay, so let's just do a test. Oh, there's an error here. So let's hold on. Fruits on stage, fruits one stage. Fruits on stage. So and an error there. So remove the e. So notice I can actually move my basket here. Okay, next part. There are some things we should know about the drag, start drag. There are two optional parameters. The first is lock center, which defaults to false, which specifies whether the registration point of draggable object snaps to the center of the cursor position or drags from the point where the user first clicked. The second optional parameter, bounds, can be used to indicate a rectangular area that will constrain the draggable range of the object. Okay, so only one object at a time in any given file can be made draggable using start drag. And if you call start drag on the second object while something is draggable, the first object will stop dragging. If you want to create multiple objects being dragged, you can set objects to match the position of the mouse cursor instead of, or in addition to using the start drag method. So for more information about this technique, see /help. Okay, so now that we are able to move our basket, we want to be able to move our fruit to fall down. Okay, and at the same time, we want to keep track of the number of fruits that we've caught or missed. So welcome back to the enter frame listener. So every time we do use go and enter frame, we can do some animation. So let's come back over here. So this part here will animate the fruits. I'm gonna put some comments here as well. Here it says, okay. So this is some comments here. stage add event listener event dot enter frame catch fruit, and we're going to say function catch fruit event void. So every time it goes into a new frame, you'll call the catch fruit function. So that will enable us to animate our items. So we got to create a loop here that says, okay, we got to start from create start from the end of the array and go all the way down until it's 0 or larger than -1. So this says, okay, we got all these different fruits. Okay, so what's our current fruit here? And current fruit dot y equals to, okay, plus equals to current fruit dot speed. So we got to increase the position of the y coordinates. So it's a very common way to use the for loop. Okay, so that's it. Okay, now why do we do this? We'll see later when we use the splice method when we want to add more fruit or remove fruits. Okay, so what happens is that we are going to cycle through every fruit and change the y coordinates. Okay, so let's just test it out again. Yep. So what we gotta do is that you can see that all the fruits are moving here. So but it only goes one time. So I'm gonna test out for you again one more time. See, notice all the fruits are falling down, but of course we can't catch them. Some of them are slow, some of them are fast. So we gotta go to the next one, next part of our lesson here. Okay, so what we gotta do is to throughput. Okay, so notice that the fruit all goes all the way down, but we can't catch it. That's it. It's gone. So what we're gonna do is gonna create more fruits as they fall off the stage and put it back to the top. Okay. So the trick is that we don't need to create new object, we just move it back to the top. Okay, so let's go back to our action script over here. So this one tells us, okay, if we're moving our fruit here, and then we got to do a check first if current fruit dot y larger than stage dot stage height minus current fruit dot height. That means totally off the stage. Then current fruit dot y equals to 0 minus current fruit dot height. Now the reason why we minus the height is because the fruit does have height, so we can't just put it at 0, because if it's at 0 coordinates you can still see it, so you must minus the height of the fruit. Okay, so we're going to add some more stuff here. fruits lost plus plus. So we're going to add increment the counter for fruits lost field to text. Fruits lost. So what it says is that change the text in the field to text to total fruit loss and what's the number. Okay, so there we have it. So this is our function over here. Catch the fruit. Current fruit is the current fruit y plus minus current fruit speed, and it checks the height. Then if it's off the stage, we'll increment the counter for fruits lost, and we're gonna update the text field. So let's come down here again. So notice now as more fruits keep on going down, the count goes up. And notice this banana going down, it keeps on going. Once it goes down, it will appear at the top. Okay, so that's our movie here. So what we're going to do next is to use the hit test object to check for collisions. So in the hit test, we check whether we hit the boundary of one object is intersecting the boundary of another object. Now, often this type of collision detection is performed within a conditional statement. So we got to add this statement here. Okay, and we got to put over here and we got to type this here: if current fruit dot hit test object basket MC, okay, fruits collected plus plus. So it says here, okay, the hit test object, okay, the fruit has hit the basket. We got to say, okay, we collected this fruit. We got to remove it from got to remove this fruit from the stage, and we got to say, okay, field one, let's call text equals to total fruits collected, and we're going to say fruits on stage dot splice I1. So what this code does is that it says, okay, let's check this fruit. Does it hit the object? Does it hit our basket? If it does, okay, we're going to say, okay, we collected this fruit, and we take it off from the stage, and we're going to display a message in the field one text, and we're going to remove it from the array. So the splice method says, okay, at which point of the method should we remove it from? So it says I. So you're telling it to remove the I that's currently being checked. Now the second one indicates the number of elements that should be removed. So when you say 1, that means we only want to remove 1. So let's try it again. And there we have it. Okay, so we've caught all the fruits here, and what we're going to do now is we're going to add a few more functions here about determining the game's outcome. Okay, so it is a sort of game right now, but we want to add some more code to determine its outcome. So let's go over to our closing brace here of our catch fruit function and add the final piece of code here. So fine, every time we go on stage, we move them a little bit. Okay, so let's just check how many fruits are there left. So number of fruits are less than 0. Okay, equal or less than 0. Okay, say, hey, congratulations, you win. You have collected enough fruit for dinner. And we're gonna say field to underscore text dot text equals to blank it out, and we're gonna remove the event listener. So we're gonna remove the catch fruit function event handler. So once we do that, see, so I've collected enough fruit for dinner here. So we got to add one more thing to if there's in case of loss. Okay, what we got to do is we're gonna put something over here in our code over here. So over here we got to put here if fruits lost. Where is the fruits lost here? Okay. Oh, so okay, let me just look out. Okay, so we're just gonna come here. Field 1 underscore text dot text equals to sorry, you lose, you have lost too much fruit. So this is the catch fruit event here. Field to text dot text equals to empty string, and we're gonna remove the event listener. Okay, so this just checks whether we've lost 20 fruits. If not, it's gonna say, okay, well, you lost the game. So one more thing is that if we've lost all the fruit, we gotta remove all the fruits on the stage as well. So we gotta create another loop here that says for var j int equals to fruits on stage dot length -1, j larger than j. So it says, okay, we got to create a variable j, which equals number of fruits left, and we got, as long as j is larger than -1, we got to go down in decrement, and what we got to do is we got to remove every fruit from the stage. Remove child current fruit. And we've got to splice it out from the loop. Okay, so it says, okay, let's go through all the list of fruits on stage. remove it from the stage, and then remove it from the list as well. Okay. So let's say I lost, and notice all the fruits have disappeared. Okay, so what else? We can give some visual feedback by navigating the movie clip frames. Now notice our basket doesn't show that it's filled up. See, no matter how much we collect, then there's nothing to show that our basket is filled. So we just gotta make it so that it goes into the next frame. So we come over here. And we got just say, now remember this part of the stage here, when every time we add a fruit here, if it hits, okay, what we got to do is that we are going to move it up one more frame of our basket here. So fruits collected, remove child, fruits on stage, splice. So we've got to just take this and cut it and paste it over here. Fruits collected, remove child, fruits on stage. This is the one plus fruits collected. Okay, so now what we gotta do is that we're going to move it to a different frame here. If fruits collected, larger than 20, basket MC dot go to and stop 20. Else if fruits collected more than 15, basket MC dot go to and stop 15. Else if fruits collected more than 10, basket MC go to and stop 10. Else if fruits collected larger than 5, basket MC.go to and stop 5. And there we have it. So this is what we call a conditional statement. So if something happens, do this, else check this, and then do it. Okay, so let's try it out. So notice my basket becomes fuller, and notice it comes out to about this. So that's it for today's lesson. So for some suggestion to try on your own, you can add a list component that we learned in lesson 6 to load our finished file from this lesson into the UI loader in that file. You can also allow a button to allow the user to replay the game. So that what it'll do is it'll reset the values of fruits collected, fruits lost, and fruits on stage, and re-execute the loop. We can put graphics to show how many wins and losses. We can create additional levels of the game. We can create a new movie clip on the stage that the user needs to avoid. So users hit test object, so the person must avoid this object here. And thank you very much, and see you in the next lesson.